Hi, this is Fernando from 9 Day Fiancé, and you're listening to Bring Your Torch with Jesse and Elaine.
Welcome to another episode of Bring Me Your Torch. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Elaine.
And today's episode is brought to you by Gamefly. Sign up for a premium free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/torch. Well, today we have a very special guest. You can see him every Tuesday on the hit Bravo series Below Deck. Nico, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Well, before we get started, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? How does a guy from the Chicago suburbs end up becoming a yachty? Is yachty still the preferred term, or is that okay?
Yeah, it's still the preferred term, and that would be what we're known as yachties. One of my friends introduced me into the industry, and he just said, hey, let's go travel the world. All you got to do is basically dump all your stuff, do a school for a week, and you get going.
That's not bad. I mean, it's pretty big change, I would think. They're just kind of throwing everything aside and getting on a boat and going out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big change. You know, I was working at a restaurant and also helping my family out with some real estate, and the scenery was completely different from the back of a kitchen or restaurant to an ocean view. So my office, I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I think I would take the ocean over the restaurant, but that's just me.
Absolutely. I think everybody else would too.
When we watch the show, we see about 9 of you, but there are a whole bunch of other people on the show, right?
As far as on the boats, that's pretty much the crew. Obviously, we have an engineer there and first officer. Those are basically the only people that you don't exactly see because they're not part of the program. However, we do need a safe vessel to still maintain as far as our safety and the safety of the boat and the safety of the guests.
Is it weird to have them on the boat but not actually be on the show at all?
Not really. I mean, one of the guys was actually very humorous, and I thought he should have been on the show, to be honest. But for the most part, they stay out of the way, especially of the cameramen and everyone else, because we need to do our jobs and they need to do theirs. But half of our job is now added that we're on a TV show as well.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, especially when people are paying thousands of dollars a week just to come. So it is a lot of pressure.
Now, is it a week or is it like 3 days?
It's only it depends. Every charter is different from every boat. We did charters ranging between 4 days was typically the average charter. So that was on average about 3 or 4 days.
I don't even know why I asked you that question. I'm never going to be able to afford 3 days or a week, so it doesn't matter to me.
How about we'll just go half on it? How's that sound? We'll just rally other people, and then we'll try and do it.
Yeah, can I get a friends and family discount going on?
Exactly. Maybe find some vouchers somewhere, and we'll see if they'll take them.
I can't even afford that. The tips are outrageous. $15,000, $20,000 for 3-4 days.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And to be honest, it's definitely worth it, though. If you think about the cost of what they're doing to come out there, and every guest need we have to fulfill to a reasonable extent. And, we are working hard and long days, especially when charter, you wake up from 6 a.m. and sometimes the guests are up till 3 a.m. the next night.
Yeah, no, and actually that leads me to my next question that Jesse actually wrote.
I wrote it, sorry.
So we obviously love Chef Ben, but I mean, it really seems like he's kind of in the last few seasons started to complain a lot about what he's making the guests, when he's making the guests food. And since they pay so much, do you think all of his complaining is warranted, or do you think if they want a quesadilla or they want chicken fingers at 3 a.m. that he should just suck it up and make it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any yacht chef would agree with it as well, that he should make it. But the guests seem to love Chef Ben as well as the viewers. But, it's all part of the reality show, I mean, you got to give what the people like.
Yeah, definitely. Does he cook for you guys?
He does cook for us, yes. He's actually a wonderful chef. I had the opportunity actually after the show. He came out to Chicago and did some cooking out here as well, actually.
Oh, wow.
If I have learned anything in this life, it's that anybody with a good accent will get very far in life.
Well, in the U.S.
Why do you
at
think
least.
I try and pull someone off? As soon as I get back, fake accent, walk around, I was on below deck, say whatever they want to hear.
Does
exactly.
Well, Elaine, do you want to do your Ben impression for him?
Oh,
My Ben
got
impression, it's like,
Well,
oh, baby, let's get loose, baby. Yeah. It's almost like it's sexy Austin Powers.
Well, it's not very very sexy to say the least, but I mean, women love it. I will say that, but
They
it's,
eat it up, that's for sure.
Does the American accent work elsewhere? I feel like it doesn't.
Yeah, it depends where you're at. Definitely not in France. They're not a big fan of the United States citizens, to say the least. But I mean, as well as working on the boats with people, sometimes you hear people talk with accent, and you honestly think that they're from somewhere else. But you're like, I lived out of the country for almost 2 years working on a vessel, and it was all Russian, English, Australian, and only a few Americans. So but at the end of it, I'm at home, and they're like, "Where's your accent from?" And I'm like, "Dude, I have no idea. I didn't even know I was talking like that."
And I've actually found that if you go places and you don't act the part of like the big obnoxious American, then people are great. A lot of places have this preconceived notion of what Americans are like, and if you just act like a normal human being, they warm up to you pretty quickly.
Exactly. So basically, you're saying if you don't act like Trevor, the deckhand on the show, then you'll actually get along with
Oh
those.
gosh.
We know you brought him up, so we can kind of fast forward a little bit if you want. We've seen him get into a couple spats on this show, obviously with you, a little bit with Kelly. He's from? I was going to ask if he gets a fair edit, but it sounds like from what you just said, you think he did.
That he did what?
Get a fair edit on the show so far?
You know what? To be honest, him as a person, I've seen him off the show, and everything is how it is. There's no script with this, and I think he's got a fair bit of FaceTime on there. But you know what? When you're that nasty to people, and you'll see the episodes to come, that it doesn't end, it doesn't get better, and the drama just keeps getting more and more intense. And that's just him as a person,
Jeez.
Yeah, and I guess from what I see, I wouldn't necessarily call him like a bad guy. He just is kind of like a jackass a lot of times, to put it mildly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not a full ass, he's kind of a jackass. The thing is he says a few nasty things in the next episode, and it's just something you got to watch. But you might have to deal with it all season. You never know. I mean, as far as crew, and as soon as it starts off bad like that, it's only going to get worse.
There's always a plane ticket waiting in Captain Lee's pocket.
Yeah, his airlines, they're pretty quick on the plane tickets. People are in and out.
Jeez.
Well, you just said that, what we see is what we get. There's no script. Now, we always wonder, is there a lot of reality in reality TV? Kate, who's another mainstay on the show, she's having some issues now. We're not going to go into that. People can Google that if they want. But she seems to be a lot like Ben, actually, that they both have this, or at least project this hard exterior, but they're all both seem to be super, super sensitive and take offense very easily. Is that just how they are?
Absolutely. And you know what? The thing is yeah, I mean, if you don't get along with someone and they know they don't get along with each other, then you're just not going to go along with them. And when you get to a certain point of, I'm just going to say what I have to say, she has no hesitation whatsoever to always say what she needs to say and say what's on her mind. And I think all the crew, once people start getting used to each other, you'll see that a lot more often.
And she's the first person to admit that she does have a resting bitch face. And it gets people looking at her.
She smiles a lot more now, though, I think.
She does. She's a really good sport about the whole thing, and I do like that.
Absolutely, yeah. No, she is. And you know what? When you can own up to being a bitch and you're proud of it, wear that crown all day long. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And now, how's your relationship with her? Are you guys tight?
Me and Kate have a good relationship. Throughout the season, things were good. And, to be honest, I got along with pretty much everybody on the boat. Granted, we did have a few arguments, and I just so happened to be in the middle of a lot of them. But, you kids, you make up, and you got to live with them. You got to work with them. You got to play with them. So you just have to keep moving on and get over it.
And I'll be honest, on TV, your tattoo looked fine. It didn't look faded at all. So I wouldn't say that to you.
Thank you for that.
Well, we also saw you kind of Skyping with your friend in the last episode in the beginning. But I saw some chemistry a little bit with you and Lauren. Now, is there going to be some sort of like love triangle going on?
Me and Lauren are very, very close friends. We have a great relationship. The thing is, you always have that person you find that great bond with, whether it's male or female. And, you just kind of hold on to that and, because with everything going on with the crew and everything else, when you can find that one person that you just really can just sit there and basically just talk about shit all day with, then that person comes close to you.
Yeah, and it's tough because you know what? Everybody on the boat is a good-looking person, so you just think anybody starts talking to each other, they must be into each other. But regardless of what we see and what we want, there does have to be some level of professionalism there.
Well, yeah,
some level of professionalism, but at the same time, when the guests are off the boat, you get to see us play around a little bit, and I think you'll see a few boat romances float around here and there. Some sink, and some float away into the sunset.
Yeah, well, yeah, Kelly seems to have, some sort of
5 months, guys. It's been 5 months.
I don't know what he's gonna do.
I could do 5 months standing on my head.
Well, I don't know. 5 months for me too sounds like a long time. So I guess you'll find out.
Oh, that'll be good.
Be in my 20s again.
Well, in addition to Ben, the other below deck mainstay is obviously Captain Lee. Is he that big of a hard ass? I mean, was he nice to you guys?
See, here's the thing is, Captain Lee is a nice guy, but he doesn't appreciate stupidity. And if you're being stupid, he's going to straight up tell you to your face. And you'll see that with his Twitter. You'll see it with everything else. He has no patience for it. But, when someone's doing a good job. And he'll appreciate that and tell you. But that same person can screw up the next day, and he's going to say, really, dude? Are you serious? But clearly, I mean, as far as all the crew, he's okay with us as long as, like I said, stupidity levels. And as far as the first few episodes, clearly Trevor is off the walls with that.
And he put up last season with Rocky for pretty much the whole season. Yeah. And I like Rocky, even though she was nuts. Do you have any interaction with any of the past people that were on the boat?
I do have a few interactions. I knew Emil from back in Fort Lauderdale. I've met several of the crew members. To be honest, once you start doing Below Deck, it almost becomes like a family. I've talked to, Bobby, Brian, a bunch of other people that have done the med season, and it becomes like a Below Deck family because everyone knows like what you went through with like before and after. Then, once you film, you see it on TV like almost 6 or 8 months later, and you almost forget what you did, and then if you did something bad, then it comes up again, and it almost like reminds you of what you did, and you can watch it.
And we've actually seen this a lot. We've spoken to some people from the real world. We've spoken to some people from the Bachelor world, and that's what they all say. Once you get into it, it's its own little community, and I don't want to say it's incestuous, but you just get to know everybody and you kind of traffic in the same circles.
Exactly. And everyone adds each other on social media because that's the big thing these days, and everyone's just all about talking to each other like, oh, how was your season? Did this happen? Did you notice this or that? And it does. It becomes like a little family, in reality television.
Did you ever see any sharks? I know it's a silly question, but I'm terrified of sharks. I know it doesn't make any scientific, environmental, or moral sense, but I'm for just killing all the sharks.
I'm not really for killing them, but yeah, I mean, we've seen some sharks. Actually, in Tortola, we saw a shark because Ben was cooking some meat, and obviously anything that goes down the sink, like the blood or anything, goes out into the ocean. Ooh. So that's why we don't throw garbage in the sink or anything like that. But there was a shark or two that we did see. But personally, I've been, over 52 countries over the last few years, and I've seen quite a few sharks.
Yeah, I saw Jaws when I was a little kid, and it freaked me out for life.
I know. My mom always lied to me and told me not to pee in the pool, otherwise Jaws would come. Once I figured out that it's actually the blood that does it, I'm like a madman.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. I don't even like being in like a lake where I can't touch the bottom. Now, obviously, there's no shark in there, but it still freaks me. I think I saw like one of those Stephen King freak shows with oil slick on top where it eats them. So my rational mind says it's fine, but the other side says get out. I am a big baby.
Your mind's telling you no, but your body's kind of telling you no as well.
Telling me yes.
Love it, R. Kelly.
Correct.
So what can we expect from the rest of the season? Are there any juicy nuggets you can give us without spoiling anything? Like I said, it looks like next week things are going to get real and it's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I personally think I've seen all the seasons. This is going to be, I think, one of the most dramatic seasons because some people do stay around that you may like or not like. Others people that you may like or maybe hate go home. Awesome. Captain Lee's airlines definitely are are ready at command, but it might not be as soon as you think. But as far as that, you know, there's hookups, there's fights, there's friendships, there's everything in this, and it's not just one or the other where it's basically a boatmance or everyone fighting every episode or people becoming friends. It's a mixture every episode.
Wow.
And it's pretty incredible, I think, this season.
That sounds exciting. But before we go, I have to ask you the most important question. Will you be back for season 5?
For season 5, I'm praying. I'm hoping so. You know, I was a new crew member this season, and it's based on the people. It's based on you guys and, you know, having me on right now and people listening in and liking what they hear. So if the people like me, I'll be back. If not, then it's been fun.
Well, the one thing you'll learn quickly is that when you talk to us, we'll ride or die for you. We'll pimp you out as much as we can.
All right, I love it. I love to hear that.
And in the best possible way, of course, too.
Absolutely. And, you know, social media is a big thing. So, of course, you know, I have like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and, you know, you just try and utilize that and get the people on your side. But actions speak louder than words.
And you're showing my age right now, too. I'm 35. Now, I'm up with Facebook and Twitter and stuff, but being on the Snapchat, like I understand what it is, but I just don't get it. I go, man,
I don't get it either.
When did I get so? I mean, if you ask, I thought it was where, like, you know, people in college send pictures of their nether regions down to.
It's still not like that. What do you guys use it for then?
I must be snapping with the wrong people, I guess.
I must be snapping with the right people then.
What?
All right, I'm gonna start following you now. No,
all right.
No, nice. Well, you know, we really appreciate you coming on,
I appreciate it.
And we look forward to seeing the rest of the season. It's gonna be great.
Great. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it, and I hope to talk to you maybe later in the season.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
definitely.
All right, you can go to our website at www.bringmeyourtorch.com. But where else can you go?
Facebook.com/bringmeyourtorch or Twitter.com/bringmeyourtorch without the H.
No H.
You can find us on iHeartRadio.
Go to iHeartRadio, go to YouTube and click us. Go to iTunes and rate us and click us and give us stars. Spreaker, Blueberry. You can go to everywhere. I can't even remember them half the time because there's so many places to go to. Right?
I'm excited.
Right?
You can find us anywhere.
Just Google us, find us. We're great. And remember, you may have come here as a stranger, but you're leaving as a friend. We'll see you next time on Bring Me Your Torch.
Bye.